Sandy Hussman from WBTF, Virginia Public Radio. Just wondering, first of all, how long you envision the job will be, ballpark. Whether you plan any changes of substance during that time, specifically whether the university will launch a substantial online learning program. And do you feel that you're taking this job in any way condones the process by which President Sullivan was pushed out?
Okay, the first question was, how long do I think this will go on? You know, that's a very difficult question.
Years.
I hope weeks. No, I think realistically probably a year. That's kind of the way I think about it right now. I mean, I'm hoping there's going to be a process laid out here pretty soon that will discuss the ways in which the the board will go forward with this, search committee and so forth. I hope they get rolling fast and that we come to a successful conclusion with a great president within a year.
Distance learning?
Distance learning, I think, is something that I can tell you every one of my dean colleagues and the provost, we're all wrestling with it. Obviously, some of our competitors have made major moves in that area. And I think that we all have a commitment to really seriously explore how the university is going to go into that. I think that's a big issue that all of higher education is dealing with. I've got a little bit of experience there because in the McIntyre School, we've launched an online non-degree, a certificate program, and we have committees that are about to start up to look at how we can take some of our non-degree programs as well as some of our courses that are taught, particularly the large courses, and put those more online to gain some efficiencies. So we're in serious conversation there, and I think the whole university has got to engage in that. And as I said, many of my dean colleagues are actually doing a number of things there already. Some of them have programs well online, and I think we have to do a very careful and thorough analysis of that.
And do you condone the process by which President Sullivan?
I think everybody recognizes that the process was deeply flawed, and I don't condone it. I think that I would ask you to talk to the people that have worked for me for a long time. I think that they would say that I emphasize participation and engagement. I try to talk to everybody that's involved in an issue. And I have a decision orientation. I can make a decision. But I try to get all the meaningful engagement and input that I possibly can up to that point. That didn't happen. I'm sorry. Yes.
CBS 19, and my question goes to that as well with the Board of Visitors. You talk about restoring trust, and it seems like with the faculty, that's where the breakdown of trust comes, not with you or President Sullivan, but with the Board of Visitors. So how do you plan on working with the faculty who are having to protest at 5 o'clock tonight and some have been stepping down? How do you regain that trust between the board and the faculty?
You know, I really think that there, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's a matter of engagement and interaction. One of the things that had just recently started is to have members of the board start to visit the individual schools and for various kinds of interactions or events. I'd really like to intensify that. I would love to see, for example, and I'm now, this is one of my gaps here, exactly how the board meetings work, but I would like to see at least a portion of the board meetings, frankly, come into a room like this, where the board members would have the opportunity to interact with faculty, staff, and students in a school, would hear about the programs, would hear about our problems, would hear about why we're doing what we're doing or why we don't think we can make certain moves. I think, frankly, if you have that level of engagement and that kind of dialogue on a regular basis, and probably through other channels that I haven't even thought of, I don't think we'd be where we are today. I think there would have been a more broad-based understanding of maybe some of the issues that were involved in this, as I said, flawed process.
Hi, Dan Zavizet from the Washington Post. How would you characterize the way the rector first proposed the presidency to you? You said later in the week, after you said you didn't want to do it, she said, well, what about an interim? How did she first present it to you?
It was actually, I believe, if I remember the conversation correctly, it was actually the vice rector that said, are you interested in being a candidate for the permanent position? And I was very honestly unequivocal in saying no, and then raised up the question of whether I'd be willing to serve as an interim. So that was it.
Over here.
Yes, sir. Ted Strong. This is on? I'm Ted Strong. You know,
I'm sorry I didn't get back to you, by the way.
no.
I tried.
It's fine. It's your fault you're here now. You know, faculty that you're trying to establish trust with,
Right.
as Carter mentioned, is not a happy faculty. They called for the rector and vice rector to resign. The vice rector has. Do you think the rector should?
You know, I think what the rector does, whether the rector resigns or not, is you know, up to the rector. I think she is facing obviously a difficult situation, and you know, I am not in her shoes, and I'm happy that I'm not in her shoes. My shoes are hard enough to deal with at the moment, but I think that really she is. I would recommend that you ask her that question. I'm sorry, I can't answer that question.
Jim Nolan with Richmond Times-Dispatch. The process notwithstanding, which you've already described as potentially flawed, did you think that the decision to remove President Sullivan was a good decision, and did you express your support for that decision to the rector?
You know, I think that you know, my interaction with President Sullivan was that she was nothing but supportive of this school. Some of you may be aware that I spent almost a week, traveling in Asia with her immediately after graduation, and we had a variety of interactions, one-on-one as well as interactions with alumni, and she was very positive on my school and what we were doing. And over the last 2 years, she was very supportive of many of the initiatives that we've launched in the school, some of which were a little bit out of the box in terms of the way things happen at UVA. So in terms of my relationship with the president as a dean to the president, I felt that she had been very supportive of the school and the things that we were trying to do. I was not aware, you know, obviously of all the things that have already been discussed publicly in terms of the reasons that the rector and the vice rector, you know, stayed for her removal, and I have you know, I don't know anything more than you do.
Do you support the board's decision?
I don't support the board's decision to remove her.
Dean, given your copious skills and talents, why then would you enter this hornet's nest without extracting a concession from the rector to resign as a condition of your assuming this position?
Look, my focus here is to do everything that I can to move the university forward. You know, we're going to have our student body showing up here in a couple of months. We have patients to take care of at the hospital. We have faculty that are doing research. We have service that is being performed. And very honestly, what the board did or did not do at this point is frankly less important to me than the university my colleagues, my friends, and trying to get back to the tasks at hand and continue to move the university forward in a very positive way. That's all it is.
Anybody else?
But you realize that, again, what I was trying to say was, despite all your talents, your legitimacy is in question because you did not extract this change, which would have constructively said something about the leadership of the university.
Okay, well, I didn't do it. Okay, I think that I view my responsibility as trying to work with my colleagues, students, and friends to develop an agenda that can take us forward. Very honestly, the decision around the Board of Visitors and who's on it and who's leading it is a decision of the governor. I really want to focus on the university and what I'm going to try to do here to work with faculty and staff and students to move us forward and alumni.
So, you want me on the mic?
Yeah.
Sir, in the days up until last Monday's meeting, and still there are all sorts of concerns and discussion about the way the decision was made, all that sort of stuff. Among that is a host of different conjecture that ranges from conspiracy theories all the way to serious people with serious concerns that have to do with the role of business type thinking in business. When Vice Rector Kinkin was describing you at the press at about 2:30 Tuesday morning, he described you as leading a school that is essentially a pre-measured business program. Did you have any concerns about stepping into this role as someone with such strong ties to the academic business school?
Yes, I did. I had a concern that I would be perceived as part of what I think are absolutely inaccurate characterizations of, a conspiracy theory of, a variety of different flavors. I actually thought long and hard about that in terms of whether or not that was a good idea. And that was a judgment call. And some people believe I showed bad judgment. But in my mind, I'll say it again, my commitment to the university and my belief that I could work with people and hopefully at least start a process of rebuilding that trust. I believe that trumped that concern. But yes, of course, I was mindful of that and actually discussed it with a couple of my friends.
Sandy, what will you do to repair relations with donors?
I think it's interesting. I think that if I look at the response that I've gotten so far, and frankly, the conversations, particularly that I've had with some of the donors that I know, I think that many of them, if not a majority of them, are saying this is not a time for us to walk away. This is not a time